recap from yesterday, we talked from the subject, it's all life. I used my children as examples that I can't, I realize that my kids have got their own strengths and their own weaknesses. That Claire is a highly functioning 5-year-old. She is 5. She's highly functioning for her age, motor skills, all those things. And Chandler is a highly functioning special needs. He's got autism. And so it's one of these things where I don't find myself as a successful parent because Claire is normal in society's eyes. And I can't justify that I'm a good parent simply because, of her condition and she's great and all that. I'm a good parent. Carrie and I are parents to Chandler and Claire. And so we pay equal attention to Claire and to Chandler regardless of what the situation is, regardless of what the circumstance that backs behind them, whatever it may be, regardless of what it is, we still give them both the attention that they need. We give them both the attention that they deserve, and we had to approach life that way. Because of our stance in doing that, now we find Chandler beginning to excel and now pass goals that were set for him. He is going above and beyond those goals, exceeding goals that were set to him by his teachers. He's done great because we didn't neglect him because he presented more challenges. We didn't neglect who he was. And now he is catching up and beginning to even pass up those in his class because we have given him equal attention, just as Claire has gotten equal attention. So goes with our spiritual and physical natures. They both require attention. They both require adequate attention. And to say, I'm this super spiritual person, but then you neglect your natural life and how you live it, then you will find a lot of times a situation where there's not a lot of progress in your natural life because you're not giving it any attention. You are constantly focused only on times in which you are at church, and that's it, and not how you can take what you have at church and implement it into your natural life and allow your natural self to also begin to grow. Mark 9:24, he said, I believe. Help thou, the Father said about his Son, I believe. He said, help thou mine unbelief. He didn't say get rid of my unbelief. He said bring it up. Help mine unbelief. What's he saying is, I know I can't get rid of it. I know that I'm still a human being and I have to live with unbelief. I have to live with the realistic, logistical mindset, and I have to follow logic, and I understand that it's in there. Paul said, when I try to do good, evil is with me. It's there. You can't erase the fact that it exists. What he's saying is, help thou mine unbelief. Bring it up. I can't neglect it. I need to somehow not just get rid of it, but enhance it and make it better. So you can look at it from this standpoint. He said, I can go forward. I believe I can go forward. He says, help thou mine unbelief. Touch my reverse. I'm a forward thinker, but touch my reverse. Don't get rid of reverse. It's something that you have to live with when you are in this vehicle. It's something that you have to have inside of you. But what it's saying is, Lord, I believe I'm going forward, but touch my reverse. Let me control what's going on. Don't let reverse kick into gear when I'm going 65 and 75 miles an hour down the interstate, and then reverse kicks in, and just like the natural kicks in. You may be in the middle of this awesome move of God, and all of these powerful things are stacking up one right after another, and it seems like God's really beginning to bless you, and then all of a sudden your nature kicks in and you stop it and you snap out of it, and you're like, oh man, I don't know if I should do this. Oh, I don't know if I should go ahead and do what I was going to do and give to my church and go to this place and step out into this realm of faith, and your natural kicks in. What it's saying is Lord, I believe. I want to go forward, but don't let my reverse. Let me be able to control when reverse kicks in. I don't want it to go kicking in when I'm going 65 miles an hour down the road in the Spirit, and I'm just connecting to God and doing all these great things and feeling progress and all this. It's saying, touch my reverse. Let me be able to be in control and help my unbelief. Help me be able to get back in the driver's seat and be able to control, and don't let it just kick off automatically. Because guess what happens? When you're going that fast down the road and reverse kicks in, it messes up transmissions. And I believe that that's something that we should always want to strive for, is to have a clear and fully functioning operation in the transmission of God to us and us to God. That transmission needs to be completely open. It doesn't need to be isolated. The gears don't need to be chipped and broken off because reverse is kicking in when it doesn't. We want to flow smooth. It's all life. So in conclusion, Pay attention to your spiritual side, your natural side. You need to learn to operate in the spiritual side, be able to operate in the faith, but then at the same time, you also need to learn to operate what you've learned in the faith and watch it grow inside of your natural life as well. Because we cannot look at one and neglect the other, because if we do that, a lot of times we'll find ourselves constantly seeking and wanting deeper things that we can't quite get a hold of because of our lack of connection or transmission, because we're not in control. We're losing it because of neglect. Homework for you. Read Romans, the 7th chapter, 14 through 25. The NIV is a really good translation to go into with this. And remember, whenever you're reading this, that it's important that you give the proper time and attention to both sides of who you are, your physical side and your spiritual side. Had we not approached Chandler with a drive and success to be the best that we could to him, regardless of what doctors said or regardless of what society said, had we approached him that way and not given him the attention that he needed, he wouldn't be able to have grown to where he's at today and succeed where he's succeeding now, talking, colors, counting in English and Spanish, doing things and communicating at a different level. Had we neglected him, he would not be where he's at today. Let me say this: don't neglect the side that your natural side. Don't neglect things that may not seem okay to you. Don't neglect those things. Try and make them better. You're only as strong as your weakest link in your spirit. You're only as strong as your strength is in your flesh. If you can't get your flesh under control and you can't give it the proper attention that it takes to bring it to the throne, get it under subjection, make it something great and valuable, make it valuable. Make it something that you're proud of, even though it's a nature that sometimes it gets you in all kinds of trouble and all that. Try and get it to a place of control. You can't get rid of it. You need to learn to live with it. Love you guys, and hopefully we'll see you at Firewalkers. Brother Martin Powell is preaching. Love you.